Howdy everybody, Michael Mass here. Welcome to the Disney Diner Review, your one-stop shop for everything food at Walt Disney World. Today we're at Epcot. We are going to go to Flower and Garden. We are going to eat our way around. Well, we're not going to eat our way around. We're going to eat a lot of food here at Flower and Garden. We're going to consume a lot of stuff. So if this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button there and let's get started. Let's talk about Epcot Flower and Garden. This is the 25th edition of Epcot Flower and Garden, and everything about Epcot currently right now says spring. The food is fresh and delicious most of the time. We'll check it all out and see what we're going with that. As well, the flowers and everything that is amazing about Epcot this time of year. This is going to be my third or maybe fourth Flower and Garden. We are going to go check out some stuff. I'm going to talk about stuff I've eaten in the past. Actually, weirdly enough, the first thing that we're going to go eat it's going to be back here at the Berry Buckle. I had it last year, but it's supposedly just a little bit different this year. So let's go check it out.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Let's talk about the Berry Buckle. I don't know what there's not to like about the Berry Buckle. The price was $4.50, so that's a good price for a dessert. As well, it was warm, it was moist, like the cake was really, really good. Throw the berries, oh my gosh, it was so good. The only thing that I would change is last year they had a different ice cream topping sorbet, whatever it was, they had a little bit different last year. I liked it better last year, but still, this year was really, really good. I definitely recommend the Berry Buckle, the Wild Berry Buckle at the Berry Basket. 4.5 out of 5 stars on that item.
We say so, the three caballeros.
We make our way around the festival. It would be like, I shouldn't neglect to mention, even though this is here all the time and it's not part of the festival, it's a great place to stop and get a drink. I did a full review on Chocolate Margarita here recently. Go check it out. Love the margaritas here. Definitely stop here and get a margarita during the festival. Let's go on. As we continue to walk around the festival, I've just noted that Norway has a booth straight out across from it. It seems like most of the items on that menu that are at this booth are at this restaurant right over here that is always there. The school bread, things like that are always here, but it looks like they're drawing attention to them this year with the booth being out front. Wow, it is busy. If I'm going to give you a tip for Flower and Garden, it's to come on a weekday. I was here yesterday filming a vlog and getting some stuff, and it was much slower. This is a Friday, that was a Thursday. Tomorrow, Saturday, will be crazy here. As promised, I am not hitting every booth. I skipped the first booth, hit the second, skipped the next, and now I'm about to hit the China booth right behind me. I'm gonna go ahead and get the vegetarian option on the menu. It's the veggie spring rolls, so let's go try them. Let's talk about the vegetable egg rolls at the Lotus at the China Pavilion. I will say I enjoyed them, but they could have been better. The vegetables inside everything was good. The problem I had was that the egg roll was just a little bit like texturally chewy. It wasn't a perfect egg roll by any means, but I did enjoy it for a vegetarian option. But one thing I do question, and this is why they have these, and I actually asked for one just to show you guys that at every booth you can ask for this pamphlet, this piece of plastic laminated paper that shows you all the ingredients in a thing. So if you are allergic to something, you will be able to figure that out. If you're a vegetarian, you'll be able to figure that out. If you need gluten-free, you'll also be able to figure that out. I do question if the spicy mayo on the side was vegetarian. I'm gonna bet that there was some kind of milk product in that. As the lady in front of me looked at that plastic piece of paper and said, no, it's not really vegetarian, and walked off. So there could be some discrepancies in there. You can always check with them, and they should have one at every booth. So let's wrap up the egg rolls, as they were $4.50 for the egg rolls. I will say that the egg rolls were a 3-star, and for me 3 stars just means okay, edible, it's almost good but not great. It's definitely not subpar and not just take it off the menu, but it's not going to be something that I recommend. Next up on our trip around Epcot's Food and Garden, eating here, eating there, we went to Bauern Market. It's the place in Germany, and we had the pretzel bread. I'm gonna tell you, I'm hugely disappointed in the pretzel bread. The thought had a 5. It could have been a 5. It definitely could have been a 5. There were parts of it that went, oh my gosh, this is like, why did this go so wrong? The cheese on top was, it was like it was microwaved 3 hours ago. It was not good. The ham in it, that actually made sense. The pretzel was just not crisp enough, just not pretzel-y enough, if that makes sense. So for the first time today, and the first time that I can think of, I'm giving the pretzel bread at Bauern Market a 1. A 1M. I would definitely avoid it. Do not go there. Do not go there. I should have got the strudel or maybe even the potato pancake, but the pretzel bread was awful. As we continue to make our way around Flower and Garden, I wanted to ask you a question. What are your favorite things at Flower and Garden, or what do you look forward to most? If you've never been here, which of these dishes today that I've eaten is something that you're like, that's on my must list, I gotta try that, I gotta eat that? And if you come here all the time, what area is your favorite? Which booths, what do you eat? I know that here recently, like I got recommended to try the kefta pocket, which I probably would have never tried, but I tried it and really liked it. And that was over in Morocco at one of Morocco's booths. So just tell me down below in the comments what you like to eat when you're at Epcot. Or what are you looking forward to eating while you're at Epcot? Either one. Okay, as we have hurried past, and I say hurried for a reason, past Italy and America when it comes to food booths. Not a fan of either place. I'll try to find some footage, and I think I'll have it up here of the last couple years, but Italy, like, the cheese always feels like it's over processed and microwaved and just not well in their dishes. And America, well, they do average barbecue at best. Wait a second. Let me rant about this for a second. Okay, let's talk about barbecue in Walt Disney World. This is going to be a bit of a rant. If you want to go to the end of the rant, I'll put the timestamp here that this rant is over. But it's really short, don't worry. Barbecue in Walt Disney World. Why can't you do barbecue right at Walt Disney World? Every year you have these booths that are less than average barbecue. As far as I'm concerned, less than average barbecue. If you're from one of the barbecue meccas, Texas, Memphis, the Carolinas, or Kansas City, you'll know that this barbecue is definitely just okay at best on a regular basis. So Disney, why can't you do barbecue right? You need to go to these places. Stop getting a chef that thinks he can just barbecue or barbecue meat and make it better. The reason you're doing burnt ends is because burnt ends aren't that hard to do. You can overcook burnt ends and no one really knows. You can chop them up into little pieces and no one knows as well. Pulled pork is not one of the hardest things to do. But if you're gonna do it, please, in the future, go hire 4 people from these places. Get someone from the Carolinas to do pulled pork. Get someone from Memphis to do the ribs. Get someone, please, on this one, get someone from Texas to do the brisket. And if you want to do burn ends right, obviously go to Kansas City. Would it really take that much? But this is just my barbecue side of snobbing me coming out. Because it's funny, if you're not from one of those meccas and you come here and have this barbecue, which is average at best, you'll go, wow, this is good. And the thing is you can't get great barbecue anywhere on the property. You can get good barbecue maybe at the Polite Pig, but it's just good barbecue and it's way overpriced for what it is. It's ridiculously overpriced, but that's the best barbecue on property. If you want barbecue, tip there. If you want barbecue in your own property, go to the Polite Pig. You're gonna overpay for barbecue for what you're gonna get, but at least it's good barbecue. Everything is else is just average to poor, or a poor imitation of average. One more thing, Disney, you can thank me for this later, do a barbecue festival. You have a parking lot in Epcot that definitely could hold a barbecue festival. So the first annual Walt Disney World Barbecue Festival, why not? Let's do that. Let's invite people all over the country who know how to do barbecue here, and then show everybody what good barbecue is. How about that? Disney, you can thank me for that tip later. Now you have a festival that you can run over June and July. Epcot's Barbecue Fest. End of rant. Let's get on with eating around Epcot. We are in Japan, and this is where you can find the ever-famous Scrushy. The ever-famous Scrushy that everybody loves. Well, not everybody, but most people love. Right here. And I'll tell you what, it's a 3.5. I've had it twice. It's not consistent. The coconut rice sometimes is chewy and sometimes isn't. It's just not consistent enough to get a higher score. Is it good? It can be good, but when it's bad, it's not any good. So, or not, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. So let's go on down the road, but I'm gonna show you the Scrushy first. Don't worry, I'll show you the Scrushy. Okay, well, we just went straight past Morocco. Nothing really looked great there that I had to have. Went to the Florida Fresh booth here and had the spicy shrimp and grits. I will tell you this, I probably was surprised. I wasn't expecting a whole lot from this dish. I was hoping for a whole lot, but not expecting. Does that make sense? The spice was definitely there. So if you like spices, this is for you. If you do not like spices, stay away from the spicy shrimp because it definitely has spices and definitely is a little bit spicy. The shrimp, well, they were kind of average at best. The grits were pretty good, but not great. I'm gonna give this like a 3. I struggle between a 3 and a 3.5. There's parts of it that I really, really like. I like the spicy and the heat, and everything else was just good. If you've had shrimp and grits from places that just know how to do it, like when I was in Savannah last summer, oh my gosh, I think I had shrimp and grits 2 or 3 times while I was there, and they were all amazing, amazing. So this was just good. I'm gonna give it a 3. A 3. I do like the heat, but the shrimp was just average, and the grits were just on the good side of things. So a 3 when it comes to the shrimp and grits at the Florida Fresh booth. Before we leave the Florida Fresh area, I also want to highlight that that was probably one of the more expensive dishes we've had at the festival today. It's a $6.75. So was it worth $6.75? I don't think so. I was willing to pay for it just to taste it though. Passing the France Pavilion, we didn't stop, but I'll tell you what, there's something there that everybody like has to have, has to take a picture of, and that's that Via and Rose slushy that everybody loves there. I have my eyes set on a different beverage of sorts coming up here shortly. That is why I passed on it. I had the food there a couple years ago and wasn't impressed. As well, they do have a macaroon that looks really good. I'm usually not a macaroon person, and maybe I need to give macaroons another try. But it's not gonna happen today, but the macaroon also looked really, really good. Thank you. What the hell? What did I think? What did I think of the cider flight, guys? The cider flights, let me give you some information first. Cider flights are a total of 12 ounces, 3 4-ounce drinks, $10. If you buy a regular drink, it's about 6 ounces, and you'll pay $4.50 to $5. So it really doesn't balance out. You're not getting ahead one way or the other too significantly. Let's talk about the ciders. First, let's go in left to right order from what was on the screen, I guess. The first is the black cherry was the last one I tasted, and definitely had really strong elements of black cherry in it. It was also like probably the bitterest, if that is a word, I guess, bitterest of the ciders. The next in the middle was the pineapple cider, and it was the lightest with the lightest notes and everything. I'm not a real big beer person, or I mean, I like cider. I'm just not a big beer person in general, so take that with a little tinge of whatever. And last but not least was like the orange apple, and it was like I think I could have had it for breakfast juice. Really, it was sweet. It was tastes like apple and oranges together. I liked every bit of it. And as ciders go, I'm gonna give it 4 M's out of 5 M's. They were good. It was a good variety. You know what, 4.5. Let's go up there. It's hard for me to ever give a 5. Something has to be like perfect, spot on. Like my 3 favorite ciders of all time, like that would have been a 5. So 4.5 is really, really good for this. As well, the other day I was here and I ate at the cider house. I had the lemon scone. I loved the lemon scone the other day. Here's some images of that, and I give it a 4.5. I'm starting to think cider house. I don't know if there's enough stuff on the menu to say it's my favorite booth, but definitely 2 of my favorite things here at the cider house. Okay, as we walk away from England and the cider flight and the cider house, we are gonna head towards Canada. I'm gonna tell you, I've seen Canada's menu. It has not been anything spectacular this time around. Normally, during Food and Wine, they have that cheddar that cheddar cheese soup that's amazing, and they have the filet mignon. But this time around, just a few things that I really was not interested in. But I will tell you that I have consumed some other things up here the other day while I'm here. So we will go over those. We'll make our way back to the front. After walking past a few more booths, I really decided there was nothing left to consume this time. So let's go ahead and talk about the things that I consumed yesterday. One was at the Honey Pot, which is right back in this area. That was the chicken tandoori, and I would give it, it was good, but not great. I will give it a 2.5. 2.5, right in the middle of the road, average at best. Next up, let's talk about the Violet Lemonade, which is also right here, kind of right behind me here. The Violet Lemonade, I am going to give it a 4. 4.44. I think I'm trying to convince myself to go to a 4.5. 4.5 on the Violet Lemonade. It was sweet and tart. It was everything it was supposed to be. It was really, really good. Go ahead and wrap up this edition of the Disney Diner Review. Let's go over a quick hits real fast like that. That's what we're gonna do. Let's talk about the Berry Buckle. The Berry Buckle I rated really high, 4.5 I wanna say, 4.5 on the Berry Buckle. Really enjoy it. Everything about it is really, really good. The next up was those egg rolls. I'm gonna stay in that 3 range right there. And what's bad is I don't remember. I probably should have wrote all this down, but this is obviously my second opinion, and when I get to look back on it a little bit later after it's all said and done, a 3 on the egg rolls. We go to that pretzel over in Germany, and yikes, I know what I remember this one 100%. It was a 1. I wouldn't touch it again. You couldn't even buy me another. I would tell you to save your money. Next up, the shrimp and grits over at the Florida Fresh booth. I would say 3.5. 3.5 is definitely the range. 3.5 is where that belongs. Did I go lower than that? I don't think I did. Is it bad that I'm sitting here questioning my own thoughts when it comes to this? Next up, we go to the Cider House. A good 4 to 4.5 at the Cider House is the range I am going to go with when it comes to that. The 3 dishes that I've tried on another occasion, the lemon scone, 4.5. As well, the honey tandoori, 2.5, and wrap it up with that how about the violet frozen lemonade? And that's going to be a 4.5. Just the right amount of sweet, just the right amount of tart. That is what I think of the food that I have consumed here at the festival. If you've consumed some food this year at the Flower and Garden Festival, please tell me what you consumed. Tell me what you rank it down below. Help everybody out. Help people avoid the bad stuff and find the good stuff that they're gonna want to chow down on. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week for the Disney Diner Review. I am Michael Mass, and if this is your first time, hit that subscribe button. And if you really, really, really like this video, you know what, even if you kinda like this video, hit that like button down below, just so that everybody else can see that there's more of this content out there, and it might help them in their future trip. Perfect timing for the monorail, guys. I am gonna get out of here. Thank you for your time. Here's to life.